Sonic.exe. I am a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Like everyone else, I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. Oh gee. It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I like how you get to explore towns in it. Until I noticed on my peripheral vision that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left like a fucking dick. And I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his hand drawing. But it was weird. But what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down. He did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get around this damn thing somehow before it was too late. I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. If you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. He gotta go fast. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quick or otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Duke Nukem. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Duke Nukem is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. Because, you know, Duke Nukem is just a dumbass. First of all. And second of all, I didn't think that was a simple gaming disc that would do anything bad to him. After all, Duke Nukem can kill anything. And after all, it's just a game, right? Boy, I was wrong about that. Boy, I was wrong about that. Boy, I was wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looks like any ordinary computer CDR disc. Except in the black marker on written Sonic.exe, it was pretty much like Duke Nukem's handwriting, meaning they must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay, or possibly the other store. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and I wanted to play it since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer, put the disc in, and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome, man, this is so MLG. Because, like I said earlier, I was an MLG person. I loved all the Sonic games. I could have stored them in my mouth. Because that's the kind of guy I was. Anyways, first thing I noticed is that out of place was when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title and it turned much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember the image looked like a split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the tile emblem was rusted and ruined, the Sega 1991 was now Sega 666, and the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing was that in the split-second frame it was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with 2 glowing red dots staring right at me. And the smile was stretched up wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about the image when I saw it, though I figured it was just a glitch, even though it would rarely ever happen. Because let's just be honest, Sonic is not really Satanist, but let's whatever. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF? What's this doing in my Sonic game? Anyways, then I noticed something off. Background was dark, cloudy sky of the bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was the creepy caverns of winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to be in reverse. In the image for the save file, where you see a preview of the level you're on, it's just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. I was sure something was up. I mean, how can you play Dr. Robotnik in a classic Sonic game? crying out loud. That's when I realized this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hack game. Yes, it definitely looked hacked. It was a real creepy but a smart game. I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself it was just a hack game and there was nothing wrong with that. Anyway, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds. I heard creepy pixelated laugh that sounded like an awful lot like the Kefka guy in Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, and it showed the typical title thing, except the simplistic shades for different shades of red, and text showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyways, I started playing and Tails started running like you would in any Sonic classic game. And what was odd was that Tails was running along the level and there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. Then that was the peaceful music started to lower down in slow, deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of those small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and sad look on his face. I never saw him have before, so I had him move along. And he had that worried look on his face. As he kept on moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers and moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. It looked like someone killed them in a rather gruesome way. A squirrel had hanging on a tree, what appeared to be his entrails hanging out, and a bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and the duck had his eyes gouged out, and his throat slits. Oh gee. Oh gee. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw that massacre. Apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a few minutes passed, after the music stopped, Tails was running up the hill and then he stopped. It was until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him. Not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic. I remembered that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make a move, so this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to get a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I felt I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic. He stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing strong as I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those bright glowing dots, just like that title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. I stayed black for about 7 seconds, and while white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Freaking stalker. At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue the game, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I was taken to a different level title, now saying hide and seek. This time, I was in Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and looked like everything was on fire. Goddamn. Tails looked at as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made a frantic gesture to me as if I wanted to get out of the air as fast as possible. I was starting to freak out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the 4th wall, trying to tell me to get out of the game. So, I pressed down on the arrow keys as hard as I could and made him run as fast as I could. Pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow, the ARK wrote as Robotnik from SA2, was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds had passed, as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere through the screen. Again, those black eyes. The music changed to a suspenseful, drowning jingle as I see Sonic behind Tails slowly gaining upon him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was flying. Flying. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Mel Sonic's flying pose in Sonic.exe, except it was just Sonic and he had black and red eyes again. Only. This time, he had the most deranged look, grin on his face. He looked as if though he was enjoying the torment that he was giving the poor little bastard as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 decades. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails. Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down the blackened eyes of Sonic. He grinned slowly, roofed someone's face, and he looked down at the horrified thought. I couldn't do nothing but watch. Just a split second before Sonic lunged at Tails, right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time said, "You're too slow, you wanna try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came in. I was so shocked by what happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Did Sonic do that to him? I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select screen. The save file in the Tails was different. Tails no longer in the box, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles. I picked Cankle's next. The laugh came again, and the screen got black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time, the level said, "You can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't tell if it was a glitch, a hack, or some kind of a sick, twisted joke. Or anything real. Despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looked much different. It had a ground, it was scrap brain zone. With the sky background looked like the main menu. It had dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out.